E aí? Bom continuar o games? Só que dessa vez, porra. Foda que, porra, não vou botar a câmera não, mas vou tomar uma dose, escute. Vou acender o base. Nossa. I'm gonna go mood, nigga. Eu não lembro onde que eu parei mais. Vou continuar de onde eu tava. Nada espetacular, roubo do trem. Simbora.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking.
Vou ter que baixar pra... Pá, show bom ou não vai ficar nesse altura bem aqui, eu quero que se foda.
I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right.
Tenho que parar de falar quando o velho tá falando também.
They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assume the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above.
Damn, tomar outra dose. Nossa, daqui tá grande, viu? Tá menos da metade do vinhozinho.
So I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Ô louco, foi sem saber disso aí não. Pô, cadê? Ai! Cadê os caras, doido? Eu dou pra meter bala nesse jogo bem que não aparece esses caras. Porra é essa? Rifle de cano cerrado? Qual a diferença?
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
Bora com cano cerrado, bora ver qual que é.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them.
Que merda de arma é essa?
From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route.
Ai!
But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
Sentinela do caos.
jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
What about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall.
Que essa
There
mulher que
were
tá
no passengers aboard that day.
perguntando da história? Porque eu lembro que tinha só um moleque. Um dos maiores. Nossa, falando isso, vou ali no banheiro, volto já. Sabe o foda? Eu reparei que... Deixa eu ver bem aqui um bagulho aqui, oh meu Deus. Pronto, agora sim. Sabe o que eu reparei? Que quando eu vou pausar o vídeo eu fico tipo... E aí, volto já, viu? Como se quem tá vendo aqui fosse ver o tempo que eu passei. Arremessa dinamite atira... Anúncios aqui então. Cadê? Tomar a dose. Já se deu o bagulho aqui. Simbora.
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Caraca, eu entrei em desespero, viu? Deus, nesse jogo aqui é uma merda.
Times it was like shooting
não,
ducks in
filho.
a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Eu reparei o que eu fiz, viu? Eu joguei uma granada enquanto tava explodindo o barril. Vamos ver pra cá. Vamos uma dose?
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a hand.
Like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about. Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Um amigo aqui, é? Tomara que seja um amigo. Ah, tomara que seja um amigo. Não tô afim de matar desse
Help?
NPC não, dude.
From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Quase que eu fui nessa, velho.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
Tá louco aqui, eu ganho XP dobrado, aí.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nose Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
Ai!
Very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance
Desonrado,
Kid
mas
decided to
foda-se.
leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America.
Tenho que aprender a falar menos quando...
They ended up living down there for
Porra,
many
faltou
years,
1000
but
de
I'm
XP
sure you
pra...
already know all about that.
Faltou 1000 de XP pra... o próximo nível. Mentira, faltou 300 de XP. Tomando com os 3 NPC a mais morto. Morto sem honra. Mas enfim. Foda-se. Eu tenho que aprender a falar menos quando os caras estiver falando. Ou então não falar nada, só falar depois que os NPC falar. Depois que o NPC não, depois que... Você entendeu? Tô chapado, não tô a fim de explicar não. To the hell.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as
Tem
if
nada
he
aqui
had
atrás, não.
disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was
jogo tem
back
dessas.
together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
Falei enquanto o NPC tava falando de novo. Daqui a pouco eu tenho que bolar outro fino, viu? Eu jurei que os caras estavam aqui. Jurei.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado. Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down.
Foda que eu tenho que ler tudinho, bora. Espera aí. Vamos tirar esse tempo bem aqui pra analisar tudo direitinho, quais que tem futuro, pra eu saber qual que eu vou começar a desbloquear mais, porque eu só tô mexendo em um. Bora ver esse daqui que é o caçador, luta corpo a corpo. Seja ainda mais eficiente se se concentrar durante a concentração, multiplicação de mais fragmentos de cartucho de espingarda. Nossa, foda-se demais. Contra-ataque depois de usar o pressentimento. Consigo isso. Daqui é bom, viu? Consigo ser um bafo de vingança depois que evitar um tiro letal. Quem disparou fica marcado para uma execução por tiro na cabeça. E você recebe um pouco de consideração grátis. A não ser que esteja enfrentando um chefão lendário, esses caras sempre tem alguns truques na manga. Esse cartucho especial de usado com salva de arte da vitória e crise. Espingarda de cano cerrado e manejo duplo. Explosões maiores, torna-se um especialista em explosivos. Explosão causada por você. Mas consideração por inimigo. Mostra com espingarda, mate inimigo bem de perto para coisas da mão. Nossa, daqui é útil pra caralho. Retículo adesivo durante a concentração. Lide com mais depressa que seus oponentes quando estiver concentrado. Se o retículo ficar aderente, significa que ele vai se mover por curtas distâncias a partir do centro da tela para marcar os inimigos. Espingarda carregada durante a concentração. São mais eficientes quando está concentrado. Projetado com melhorar. Combos maiores. Recarregamento rápido com revólver. Pior que eu abri aqui, ó, dei mole. Qual é o próximo que eu quero? Esse daqui. Então, 125, 112, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 4, 5, 13.
Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Como pulei a... Ai... 11.000. Como eu pulei a geração do PS3 inteira, mas eu tô me divertindo demais com esse jogo do... Ainda tô. Eu tô me divertindo demais com esse jogo dessa geração. Eu tô descobrindo um monte de coisa.
A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports.
Tá porra. O que eu tenho que fazer aqui? É o seguinte.
Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the wild bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children.
Oxi.
Though some say it was only 5. Of course, I had
Entendi
to
nada
tread
também.
carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die.
Falei enquanto o NPC falava de novo. Porra, para. Tem que largar esse costume, doido. Tô aprendendo ainda essas porra aqui.
Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me.
Oxe, como é que tu xinga a mina que te falou bagulho, meu chefe? Vacilão.
The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Mente no inferno, velho. Tome.
But the wild bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Ai, 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 ai. Cadê? Ai, tinha como dizer ali não. Beleza, tô sabendo já desse arrombado. Ai, desgraça. Não tem um XP de quando morreu, então tu...
So, what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
Gastei uma granada à toa, mas tá suave.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Ai. Não, 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 pelo amor de Deus, não. Deus me livre. Oxi. Então tá. Mais um daqueles arrombados, né? Tem. These bitches.
So I proceeded onward and realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
Já reparei que toda vez que as coisas se constroem na frente, porque o velho tá mentindo. Caralho, será se...
Of course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die.
Desgraça. Meus parabéns agora. E feliz aniversário, amor. Está feliz,
Luckily, I
amor.
found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me.
Damn. Sabia que essa música, Meus Parabéns Agora e Feliz Aniversário Amor, foi o Raul Seixas
It
que
was a
compôs?
long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it.
Eu descobri esses dias que é uma penca de brega foda que... Porra, brega foda pra caralho, inclusive. Quem compôs foi o Raul Seixas. Pô, o cara era foda, viu? Como era letrado. Ai!
Time would have been unfortunate.
Como é que eu morri aí, Dê? Entendi, foi... Ok. Entendi, foi nada.
The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom.
Entendi.
I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment. Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a touching reunion. But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore.
Verdade. Oh my god. Me mata, me mata, me mata, me mata.
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Eu ontem tive tanta sorte, a malvada da morte. Vou só passar dessa sequência bem aqui que eu... Como eu ia falando, vou só passar dessa sequência bem aqui, eu vou bolar um baseado. Vocês não vão ver porra nenhuma, porque vai ser só um clique. Quadrado. Ai! Beleza. Vou olhar onde é que eu vou ressuscitar bem se eu vou fazer, eu vou ter que fazer a sequência. Foda-se. Vou bolar meu baseado. Porra, bicho, no meio do bagulho aqui, o controle desconectou, né? Quando eu conectei de novo, essa merda tira do pause automático. Aí fez essa porra aqui, eu vou ter que morrer agora. Nigga, what? De novo, porra. Mata ele aí logo. Essa porra desses botões aqui que eu... Ah, mexi foi no de pad, porra. Que eu dei mole. Tá, e agora? Tem mais que ele não fez a animaçãozinha ainda não. Tô falando.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun.
Hi.
It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Mais um. Esse tipo de inimigo é chato, viu?
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
Confundi os botões. Lau. Porra. Não vale a pena. Ai! Caralho. Morra.
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Como é que uma bomba dessa, bicho, e um bagulho que é em cima de tudo não morre? Me fala aí. Tá bom. Então tá, né? Beleza.
Fast as he was, I was
Cheguei
just a
nível
bit faster.
25, será? Ou pelo menos 20.
And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Oh my god.
Those were his last words.
Isso daí é o bagulho do poder, ó. Eu nem tinha, ele fez. Nossa, eu ganhei. 2.000 de XP. Morto com honra, tome.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kinda glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Yeah, nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday. I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this Jim.
Nossa, pistola é chata pra caralho.
Now wait a second. How'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
Ah. Damn.
They hopped a freight train, having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So, I hopped the same train.
Okay. Ué? Porra, esse layout desse Xbox aqui eu não decorei ainda essa merda.
The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I
The
reached
James
that...
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again.
Ai, pai, para.
I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Tá bom. Ai, pai. Acho que eu vou upar esse daqui, só que eu vou escolher como maior, então depois eu... Foda-se daí. Mas segmento de cartucho de espingarda é o jeito. Tiro na cabeça dá mais XP, né? Porra.
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you.
Show you way. Eu
It
jurava.
was a rickety ride and quite precarious.
Como liberta o trem?
I never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
O jogo bugou.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack,
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But
bar.
you seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Star? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof. At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!" Now, I never worked for that limey cocksucker. I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins.
Oh, onde é que eu tava vacilando bem aqui.
It was definitely safer on the inside of the train.
Me preparei todinho pra nada.
Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. So it's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Tá bom. Não, tem que concentrar. Porra.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember it.
I bet you are.
Pior que esse jogo aqui representa 100% a vibe de velho mentiroso. Foda que velho só conta história mentindo, né, doido? Sempre afeta. Os caras sempre afetam em alguma coisa. Ah, tá suave. Tá, onde é que eu vou? Damn. Da cara, verme. Oxe, não morre mais não, fi. Ai. Não tô tomando bala, meu.
I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way
Ai.
to make my way forward.
Porra, doido. Tô com medo de fazer qualquer merda aqui nesse jogo agora.
I wondered if I was ever gonna find the front of that train. Or the bastard I was after. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
Desce. Tá me tirando aqui.
Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
Morri quantas vezes pra esse cara meio que doido? Era só fazer isso. Mano, cu. Não é outro não, né? Pior que não era.
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And that included Jesse James himself.
Tal. Ah, porra.
There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day.
Damn.
It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train. I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you. Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle.
No mercy.
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch, Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. A perfect place to hide out from the authorities. In fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the Reds and were hiding out from the military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Engines?
Yeah, they could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then.
Nossa, 5.000 de XP. A mira fica em... Mira fica em câmera lenta quando o mira fica em câmera lenta, né? Tenho reparado nisso aqui porque, porra.
Hey, how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul. Now, where was I? Indians, right. I had more than my share of run-ins with the Red Man. Like that time... Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir. You did.
Ah, of course I did. In fact, I can still remember
Vai
that
ver
old
que isso é outra
medicine man's
mentira. Ele
words to
estava
me.
falando, querendo.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
A mentira que ele inventou mais cedo.
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul. You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything you are.
Caralho, olha. Pica.
So, did you ever find him?
Who?
The man you are after.
Let me ask you something, Ben. You ever think about death?
Mr. Greaves, are you all right?
Foda, ó. Daqui, lembra do quando... Verdade, tem um XP. Foda. Então, esse daqui é o lugar quando a gente teve aquela primeira visão com aquele índio lá esquisito. Cara, é esquisito pra caralho. Ele fica dando uns bagulho do futuro. Oxi.
Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see with ice cold hands taking hold of me? Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? Oh, death, someone would pray. Could you wait to call me another day? Oh, death, won't you spare me over till another year?
So are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing.
Mais doido.
I finally did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close.
Ai.
I'm guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. He backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me. Now, when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me. Hell, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Is that what I was looking for, Dwight? Is that what it was? Justice?
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
James gang. Right. I finally found Frank holed up in his mountain cabin, and he was determined to have me dead.
Vou fazer o seguinte. Vou tomar a última dose. Não é nem uma dose, é tipo uma garrafa. Meio copo que tem aqui. Eu tomo esse meio copo. E termino de esmagar esse baseado. Que tem meio baseado também. Enquanto isso, nós jogamos um game. Então bora virar o copo aqui primeiro. Beber uma água. Bora. Ai. Acabei de entender o bagulho do jogo. Esse bagulho no canto ali é a vida. Foi tipo 2 tiros e se morrer nesses 2 tiros, filho.
It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite. On your person.
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them, Jack.
Achei que eu sou fácil de lidar, chefe. Tome agora. Tome mais de novo. Tome mais. Ai. Quer mais? Pois tome mais. Tome. Oh, de novo, bicho. Porra. Agora calha a boca, filho de rapariga. Sabe que me enfrentar com um homem não, porra. É chato da porra. Fiz questão de vir assistir tua queda, viu?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life.
Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will. At this point, I just don't give a shit.
I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else.
You want Reed? Have at him. I never did like that bastard. I am done here.
O cara desistiu, deu, quase morre.
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill.
Foda que esse tempo aqui, né? Acho que os caras passavam muito mais tempo, tipo, solto, sendo bandido. Porque hoje em dia, o cara tá em todo canto. Antigamente eu acho que o povo não entregava também não, ou entregava. Pô, acho que eu vou dar uma lida mais a respeito disso aí, viu? Procurar uns livros a respeito daquela época, tipo, falando dos fatos mesmo. Porque essa época parecia ser foda.
So what happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch the lookouts. But I was determined not to let that murderer escape my revenge again.
Velho Oeste brasileiro é o cangaço. Pra que fora da lei maior que o...
I decided it would be better to smoke that son of a bitch out. Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me.
Tá porra. Vou dar uma pesquisada aqui pra saber se Bonnie e Clyde era da época do Velho Oeste, mas é da época da Grande Depressão. Se bem que a Grande Depressão foi um bagulho foda também pros caras, hein? Os caras parece que estão fazendo questão de querer a mesma coisa.
It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Ô louco, dá pra ver na hora. Ai, 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 ai. Oxe, o cara...
Eventually, it was just me and Reed.
Just me and Reed. Duelo.
I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my
Esqueci que eu
brothers.
tava falando antes de começar naquele troca de tiro ali.
And repay him I did.
Com honra? Porra. Repito da verdade.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame he never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him. Six months ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying.
The bad, the bug. Oh, the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Oh, the good, the bad, and the dead. Essa referência The Bad, The Good and the Ugly. Claro que não consigo falar, porra. Vai tomar no cu.
40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's
Essa
killers.
arma é,
Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now.
essa arma é chata pra caralho.
Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant, that son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
For all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others. For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. I was furious as hell at that bastard for making me who I am. A man with no family, no friends.
Qual é o que...
No purpose except shooting Bob Bryant dead.
Que merda. Não acredito. Ai, ai. Não acredito que eu... Ai, eu não acredito que eu gastei um ponto de XP num bagulho que não é útil, doido. Achei que era em toda a vez. Ai.
Nothing could stop me from taking his life. I've been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly it was 1910. Here I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades. Just like me.
Damn. Como é que eu saio?
But I wasn't about to call it quits.
Ué?
Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo. Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around. I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was on to them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had.
Como é que eu mato esses caras? Porra, doido. Deu bom. Como é que eu vou matar esse... Eu vou ter que meter... Tá, bora.
You obviously prevailed since you're sitting here telling us the tale. since you're sitting here telling us the tale.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack.
Porra, foi o que aconteceu
Because
ali?
when I woke up,
From the dead?
there was silence all around me.
E algum monstro sobreviveu, né, imoral?
I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy, the kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here, and there, and even over there.
So I am right. You are touched in the head.
Mr. Greaves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer. Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me
Ai,
guns
ai, ai, ai,
a-blazing.
ai. Ui, que porra foi essa?
I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition.
Ai, ai, ai. Cadê, cadê, cadê?
I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me.
Ai. Ai. Ah, verdade. Ele tá alucinando já. Mentiu tanto que tá acreditando na própria
In the
mentira.
gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley
Cadê,
Harding.
cadê, 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 cadê,
Just
cadê,
like
cadê,
I
cadê, cadê, cadê?
remembered him. Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun. No ghost army was stopping me.
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead. Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
Cadê esses caras? Cadê?
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
Cadê esses caras? Eu não consigo ver. Tudo uma skin, eu fico escondido. Porra da paleta do jogo fez o favor de deixar eles da mesma cor. Aí, ó.
Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead.
Cadê?
George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed. Each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy.
Deixa eu respirar.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead.
Tá. Vamos me dar um checkpoint maior aí, jogo.
George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed. Each one deader than the next. Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh.
The Sundance Kid?
Like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before that you see him alive.
He was alive.
Beleza. Agora não consegue, vamos lá. Finally. Como é que eu não tenho bala?
Then I heard a voice call to me from afar. It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
The good, the bad, and the dead.
But the kid wasn't quite deceased. Not yet. Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos. I asked him about Bob Bryant.
As vozes,
They were too busy with their own heated conversation.
as vozes dos NPC baixinha.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question. But those boys didn't give me much of a choice. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob?
There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
Caralho. Ah, jogo maldito querendo me dar. Nossa. Não consigo escolher não, pô. Vamos ver. Redenção.
why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Wanted to suss you out, Bob. See what kind of man you turned out to be. Maybe prod you into drawing on me. See, all those years on your trail turned me into a killer. Can't even remember who I was before you tried to murder me. You, on the other hand, walked that very same path in exactly the opposite direction.
What do you mean by that?
You think your life is worth sparing, Bob? Boy, what's your name again?
It's Eisenhower, sir. Dwight Eisenhower.
What do you plan to do with your life, Dwight Eisenhower?
Tomorrow I'll be leaving for West Point, sir.
So, you want to be a soldier? Well, then do it right, son. Don't tear down the world out of anger and spite like I did. You build it up. You do something decent with your life, you hear me?
Sir? Yes, sir.
Damn.
I won't have it said I left you with nothing, Bob.
Achei foda o jogo. Gostei pra caralho. Nossa, muito bom. Nossa, joguinho bom, pô. Será se os outros da saga são bons também? Não, o primeiro eu não boto muita fé não. O foda é que o segundo foi o mais mal avaliado, né? Esse daqui é o que foi o melhor e o cara abandonou. Ei, ei, ei. Tem a cena pós-crédito? Os novos modos de jogo estão disponíveis. Agora o novo jogo. New Game Plus. Vale a pena jogar o New Game Plus depois, hein? Tipo, num vídeo inteiro só. Engatar o New Game Plus. Nessa história não vamos controlar o verdadeiro. Porque agora o novo verdadeiro oeste está disponível. Experimente passa pela história como. Será? Vamos ver. Se carregar o final.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well,
Tô afim não, tô afim não. Tô afim não. Tô afim não, chefe. Duels. Ah. Só explorando mesmo como é que é o arcade. Que é isso? Só meter bala? Depois o vídeo está completamente descarregado. Bora ver. Aqui tu gira então da pontuação. Você recebe ponto ao matar e ganhar prêmio, mas a chave de sucesso é matar os inimigos em sequência para formar contas. Tem que cumprir a missão sem morrer para ficar com os pontos. Faça isso rápido para não. Placa de líder. Conquistas. Foda. É, tá aí. Terminamos games. Falou pra vocês.